What if you have conducted multiple experiments and as a result you have many data files that are quite similar and you would like to apply some function to all of them? For example, in this experiment 1 we have two variables, 1 and 2, and maybe you want to subtract 2 from 1 and repeat this for all your files. Well, in R you can do it automatically if you have a function for it. So let's start building our function. Let's call it batch files, and as you know we write function, and now we want it to be very easy to use, so we want the user to write the folder in which the files are in, and we want another folder that will have the manipulated files saved. So we will write folder 1 and folder 2 and then a wave bracket. Now, first we want to deal with the paths. So we want to save the input directory. So you can use the path and write it down, but maybe it's easier to use a function called get working directory, and we join it with this and the argument folder 1, and here we have it. And now output directory, and similarly we will have paste get working directory. Folder 2, there. Now we need the function for the subtraction, so it's quite easy. So we want to have the data and subtract 1 minus 2. So let's call it subtract function, and now data. And we have data, and we have a new variable. We had 1 and 2, so let's call it 3. And it will be data column 1 minus data column 2, and we want to return the data. So now we want to read our files in our in folder. We make a variable file names and use list files function, and here we have we will use our input directory. Well, let's call it dir. Will be shorter. And we will use pattern for regular expression. And in this case it will be CSV. And then we will read the files. And we will save them. Input files. We will use lapply, and then we join our path, folder name, input dir, file names, which will use this. And then we will perform read CSV. You can use either one or two. I will use two. And then we write down the manipulation. So we will call this manipulated. Again, lapply. Will we use the input files, which will be all these files loaded on the R. So we'll use our subtract function. Okay, we are nearly done. Now we will save the names of these files for creating new files for our output folder. So we will use names manipulated, and here we will assign gsub CSV file names. So what this will do is it will remove that CSV and period and replace it with nothing. So we will have just exp1, exp10 and so on. Now we will save the files. So we will again use lapply, and then we'll have those names manipulated. We will use those names and do a function called x, and we'll write, in this case, this with 2 comma separated, and we will have the file will be manipulated and square brackets and x, and this now is a reference for the function which will have its name from these names, so it will be exp1, exp2, exp3 and so forth, and they will be written as new files. So let's continue here. We will write file is, now we'll merge the file name output dir, and then the x, which will be exp1, exp2, and then we'll have ending CSV. All right. So, and we are almost done, so we will write row names are equal to false, because we don't want those 1, 2, 3 for all our new files. And we have everything we need, so let's save this function, Control R, and then we can test it. So when we use this, there should be new files in our output folder. Batch files, folder 1 is in, folder 2 is out. You have to have these quotation marks, and then no errors, and here we have all the files. Let's see, yes, we have 1, 2, 3, and it's 5 minus 3 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1. So here we have it. And of course you can modify, you can make your own functions. It will work the same way. And now you have this batch files function, and you can use it, and you will have all your files done quickly. So, hope this helps you.